get started. Hope everyone really enjoyed that meal upstairs. How about let's get around the applause. All right, so you'll have to let me know if you can't hear me in the back. Just raise your hand. I'm supposed to be a little closer to this and I feel like I'm comfortable. So first off, I want to welcome you. This is the 33rd annual Chamber of Commerce Banquet. We started in 1986. We were at the Waynesburg Moose upstairs. It was the 80s. I had really big hair. And I was about this big. So this is the first time that we've ever done something, number one, in this venue. And number two, something where we're all dressed like this. This is usually a very formal affair. So we were coming to this venue and I thought, let's do something completely different than what we have been doing in the past. And so that's where we came up with business boots and blue jeans. So I appreciate everybody who got in the spirit and came out in their denim and their boots, whether they be cowboy boots or not, boots are boots. So really thank you very much, and I'm glad that you're here. I would also like to thank the Orndock family for allowing us to use this facility. Since they built it, I've just been itching to have an event out here, and I love it. So I see Caitlin in the back, and I know Christy and Courtney have been running around, so thank you all very much for your hospitality and your support. And then we can't forget Thistle Weights. They are up there cleaning up, but thank you to Deneen and Rick for serving your wonderful Greene County wine. We appreciate it so very much. And our last big thank you is to Luke Schroyer from LPS Guitar, who did a beautiful job, wonderful job playing this. So from someone like me that does events for a living, I can't tell you how thankful and blessed I feel to have partners like them to work with to create events here. This little corner of the state is really blessed when it comes to folks like these. So really, really glad to have them and work with them this evening. But it's not just those folks that I worked with. We had let me just tell you a little quick backstory. This event was supposed to be November the 18th. And as you know, with COVID, we obviously didn't have it last year. And the executive board had been waffling back and forth. Do we have it? Do we not? And many of you who are in business know that constant struggle anymore when we're dealing with the pandemic. You just don't know what the right answer is. And usually there really isn't one. So we decided on September the 30th that we were going to have this event and move it up from November the 18th. So my team consists of Mandy, who's up there running the camera, and then my daughter, who is here, who both helped me at the chamber. And then I had two really wonderful volunteers step forward to help with this auction. And that is Sheila Stewart and Sandy Throckmorton. And we put this together. Thank you very, very much. We have this time, we're really busy. We have our directory that just arrived, of course, on Monday. Par for the course, it arrives the week of the event. Our raffle ticket is out. We're getting ready to start planning for the Christmas parade. So all of these things are happening, and then we crunch this event into just a few weeks. But I think it turned out beautiful. Everyone that supported it, I appreciate it so much. So the main event sponsor I wanted to call out, Casey Jardinez with EQT. So they were our sponsor last year, which obviously didn't get to happen. So they were gracious enough to allow us to defer those funds to this year's event. So we really appreciate EQT's support. Along with EQT, we had sponsors that literally came out of the woodwork in the past 2 weeks. It's just amazing to me the response that we get from this community, and not only the chamber, but I recently started working with another organization, nonprofit, belongs to the county fair arm, and the response, this community is just fabulous. Anytime there's a need and you ask, it's almost always a yes. So we're very blessed to be in the company of such gracious people. So I wanted to name a few more folks who really helped us with our sponsors. And like I said, they came to us in just really a matter of a week and a half. So our harvest sponsors, First National Bank of Pennsylvania, Community Bank, Washington Health Systems Greene, and the Bailey Agency. Our wagon sponsors, Lippincott Alpaca, Pageant Business Services, Logan and Gatton Law Office, First Federal Savings and Loan. Our hay bale sponsor, State Representative Pam Snyder and Wilson Accounting Group. Our tractor sponsor, Paycheck Sunoco, Blueprints, and Milliken and Throckmorton Funeral Home. So let's give them a round of applause for helping us. So obviously what we do as a chamber couldn't be half as good as if we didn't have a supportive board. So I'm going to just announce the board members. Some of them are here, some of them are not. I'll call you to just wait and be recognized. But our first one, Jan Sklar-Martin, is our board president with Waynesburg Milling. She couldn't be here tonight. Our vice president from EQT is Casey Jardinez. Elizabeth Menhart from First Federal Savings and Loan is our treasurer, and she could not be here. McCall Forbes from Greene County United Way is our secretary, and she helped this evening. We have Jen Ross from Community Bank. She is our at-large. Sheila Stewart from First National Bank PA is our immediate past president. So those individuals are our executive committee. And then we have some additional board members. Deneen Rhodes from Thistlethwaite, which she's up there. Stacy Stroman from Blueprints. And then Mark Krupa from Greene County Career and Technology Center, along with Christy Borovichka from New Way Excavating, and they could not be here this evening. So then our staff, I've got new staff. Many of you have been to these before, and you've seen Michelle and Eleanor. Unfortunately, I lost both of those girls during the pandemic, also Kayla, for various reasons, none of them with any illness or anything like that, but retirement, motherhood, and grandmotherhood, I guess I can say for one. But Mandy Fordyce is our communications and membership coordinator. Many of you have spoken to her. She joined our staff end of May of this year. And of course, I train as trial by fire, and I've just thrown her right in, and she's done an amazing job. And then my daughter, Lindsay Parks, came on to actually only work for the maternity leave period. And the baby was born, Kayla's baby was born last October. So he's just celebrating a year, and Lindsay's still with us. So she grew up in this chamber, so she's done a lot of work for me over the course of many, many years. And she's just helping now with events and doing some scanning to try to get the rest of our documents electronically stored. So our volunteers, as I mentioned, Sandy and Sheila took care of the auction. And then our greeters, Olivia Maple from Greene County United Way. Where's Olivia? Right there. She was one of our greeters. And then, of course, McCall as a board member, and Stacy also. Did I forget anybody? Okay. So I want to thank them all for everything that they've done. So we have some special guests with us this evening, and I wanted to recognize them. So our first one is Matt McElweak. Did I get it? Thank you. And he is representing Congressman Guy Rickenshawer's office. Nice. And then I have Eric Calvin representing Senator Cameron Barlotta's office. I have Nate Rigotti and also Amy Hopkins from State Representative Pam Snyder. I have the chair of the Greene County Commissioners, Mike Belding. Commissioner Betsy Rohan LaFleur. Commissioner Blair Zimmerman. And now we have some reigning royalty that I wanted to introduce, and this is the first time that we've ever got to have all three of these county queens participate and be able to be here. Most of them are in college at this time when they're in these roles, and so tonight we have Miss Rain Day 2021, Emily Bennett. We have the 2021 Greene County Fair Queen, Kristen Diebold. And the 2021 Jacktown Fair Queen, Morgan Mooney. Thank you for being here, girls. So I touched on some of the things that we have been doing in most recent times, and I just really quickly wanted to tell you what we've been doing since we last gathered, which was in 2019. In the early days of the pandemic, it was an emotional roller coaster ride for me, as I know it was for any of you in this room that own and operate a business. On my side, what I was dealing with was the funding sources and relief sources that were coming out, and all of these federal and national programs that you would learn, and then 2 hours later or 2 days later they would change everything. So it was a very much up and down, emotional, very draining time to try to figure out what to do to help our business community. Of course, then you throw in the normal fears that we all had for our family and our friends and our own health. So that has really sort of led us into a new birth for the Chamber. During the pandemic, we had the opportunity to really learn and find some wonderful technology and software that has sort of really helped us come into this century, so to speak. We were always so busy, we never had time to do the research or learn software, and the pandemic afforded us that. So I can tell people now, and this is absolutely true, I can run the office almost entirely from my cell phone, which pre-pandemic, you could have, that just wasn't, you did it like this. You had paper, lots of paper. Lindsay can tell you, because she's scanning all of that paper. So that was one of the blessings that came out of the pandemic. It allowed us to sort of like refocus and regroup. I always use this analogy, many of you have heard it, but this was the truth. We were so busy pedaling the bike that we really didn't see the path that we were on. We were just keeping the bike going. And so the pandemic wrecked the bike, and now we're able to pedal in a more meaningful, methodical way, and a lot more efficient way. So we reinvented ourselves, as many of you did. But one of the things we were able to keep doing during the pandemic was to award our scholarships. And in 2020, we awarded our scholarship to Greene. She was a student at Waynesburg Central. This year, we awarded to Christian Morey of Carmichael's. And he wanted to be here, and he messaged me, but he could not. He had a lab, so he was not able to be here. But funding for this scholarship comes from this auction that you participated in this evening. So this year marked the 31st scholarship that we have given away. And I totaled that. Now, this is a low total, but in the 31 years that we've been doing that scholarship, we've given away over $46,000 to the youth of Greene County to help them further their education. And the reason I say low total is because on milestone years, we would bump that $1,500 award sometimes to $2,000 or $2,500. So I needed to dig back into some records that I don't even know that we have all the way back to see how much, but at least 46,000, probably closer to 50,000. So we're very, very pleased, and that's through the support of you opening your wallets when you come in and purchasing these tickets, and for everyone that donates items to be given away this evening. Had to do something today that I've never had to do before. Lena, where are you? Okay, Lena Galing at Living Cod Alpacas messaged me, and she said, Mel, I didn't do anything for the auction. Can I bring something tonight? And I had to say, Lena, the table is full. I have no place else to put anything. So normally we have about 50 to 60 items, and we decided we were going to go for, what did you girls decide? 20, 25 items is what you were targeting. We have 34. And if I would have been able to squeeze Lena's in, there would have been 35, and then someone approached me yesterday even about it after I went home. So again, the support of the community is just fabulous, and we're so very blessed. Currently, we are at 348 members. That's down just a little bit, but that's to be expected with what has happened in our economy as of recent. But many of those members have been with us for a number of years. And if it was not for that continued support, we wouldn't be able to serve the business community like we do. And for each of you in this room tonight that are members, we are very thankful for you, whether you're a new member or a member that's been with us for a long time. So normally at this event, we recognize 25-year members. And I know that we have members in this organization that go back much further than that. We actually started in 1901. And when I came to work for the Chamber in 1986, so I'm not going to tell my age or anything, but that gives you a little clue, but 86 I came to work. And talking about technology, we had a little plastic recipe box with index cards in it. And that was how we kept our members. And in 1972, someone had retyped all those cards, because every card, the member history began in 1972, and we didn't keep at that time the year that you joined. So I went through every piece of paper in the office. We were in the old People's Bank building on the first floor, and I have no data that goes back further than 1972 for our membership records. And those of you that know me well and know my OCD know how that just drives me insane if I don't have that. So that's why we just do 25s. We know we have some probably that maybe 75. but there's no data to support it, and I just hate that, but that's the cards that we were dealt. So we're going to celebrate some 25-year members. However, some of those should have been awarded last year, so this is kind of 25, 26 years, but we're not going to keep real close on that, although I do have that data in my files. So I'm going to, there are 6 between last year and this year who hit those 25-year marks, and I'm going to announce the ones that could not be with us, and then I'm going to announce the ones that are to come forward to get their plaques. So Toothman Dental, Travel Savers, Frick Financial Credit Union, and Kesterson Rush Funeral Home. So those could not be with us this evening, but they have been members of the Chamber for 25 years. So now we're going to ask the 2 that are with us to come forward. So the first one is NovaCare. So I know we have 2 representatives from NovaCare to come forward. One little thing that I learned. Producer Supply is celebrating 30 years in business this year. 31. Okay, so 30 last year. So you said we celebrated that for them. So all right, we're going to do a group photo. So in addition to membership awards, we also like to recognize businesses in the community when they reach their own Milestone Awards. And I know there's been multiples out there, and I'm really thankful that we have 2 of them that are able to join us here tonight. The first one that we're going to ask to come up is Fox Ford, and they are celebrating 100 years of serving Greene County this year. So I'd like to ask Mr. Mark Fox to please come forward. Now, we're going to have several people to come up to speak and offer some citations. So our first is going to be Matt Mccracken. No, I didn't do it right. I'm so sorry, Matt. So Matt from Congressman Raffle's office.
Thanks, everybody. On behalf of Congressman Raffle, I just wanted to congratulate you, Mr. Fox, and the rest of Fox Ford for 100 years of business. It's been a very difficult year and a half or so now. I'm sure that there have been many more trying times for the company, but we wanted to thank you for your business here in Greene County, and here's to 100 more. Thank you.
Okay, next I have Eric from Cameron Bartolotto's office.
Mr. Fox, how are you? Are you sure about that? Do you know what's? Oh yeah, you are good then. We are all good. So on behalf of Senator Bartolotta, I'm going to present you with this official Senate citation that is marked on this date, and it's. I'm not going to read quite all of it, but I'm going to read some of it because Nate's is going to be a little bit similar. But the Senate of Pennsylvania is always pleased to recognize those exceptional businesses which have stood the test of time and continue to offer their quality craft to citizens of this Commonwealth. And whereas Fox Ford of Waynesburg is celebrating this momentous occasion of its 100th anniversary. Now for the Senate of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Fox Ford of Waynesburg upon its richly deserved recognition, extends warmest wishes for a future replete with ever-increasing success, and directs that a copy of this document, sponsored by State Senator Cameron Bartolotta, be transmitted to Fox Ford of Waynesburg on this day. So congratulations.
All right, let's see, next. No, Nate, sorry. I got ahead of myself. Nate Rigotti.
It's okay. Mark, congratulations. Joke's on you, Eric. I don't have a citation for Mark. Pam already gave it to him. So Pam went to the business and said, congratulations to the Fox family. Mark, what you guys have done is tremendous. Building on what your family started, what your brothers have done, you guys have done a tremendous job, even in the last years, making that investment on High Street. I know the kind of investment you made to take down a dilapidated building, put up a new building, get into a different business venture. 100 years later, you guys are still striving and doing great things right on the main drag in Waynesburg, and we wish you another 100 years. Congratulations.
Next, I have Commissioner Mike Belding.
Thank you. Congratulations. Everybody knows there are anchor businesses in communities and around Greene County, certainly. Business names and family names are recognized, and we're proud to present a Greene County Commissioner Certificate to Fox Ford for 100 years. I'll not tell now how old I am either, but in 1983, I bought my first pickup truck from Fox Ford, so I didn't have to share with my brother any longer as I was traveling back and forth to Penn State. I think it was in that mid-70s, Ford Courier, seat and a half. You know, you can't get two people in there, but it got me back and forth to school. So I'd like to say I contributed to your success. Right, congratulations.
Okay, and lastly, Mark, on behalf of the Greene County Chamber of Commerce, I would like to present Fox Ford with a plaque recognizing their dedication to the Greene County community. All right, bear with us, folks. We're going to stage a picture. Mark, I'm going to do right in the middle. All right, our next is Community Bank. Community Bank is celebrating 120 years this year, serving the area. So I have Jen Ross. Would you like to come forward? Anybody else wants to come forward? You ladies are more than welcome to. So we're going to start again with Matt.
Hello again. Once again, the Congressman wants to extend his congratulations for 120 years in business. 1901, it's pretty much the whole 20th century, so that's really impressive. Thank you for everything that you do to serve the community, and here's to 120 more.
So I also have one of these nice citations. And this time, I'm going to say that I'm only giving it to you if I can give you back my mortgage payment. No? Okay, I'm just kidding. Don't anybody repeat that. Okay. So I do want to read just a few of these sentences because it's just so impressive to have 120 years. Whereas the Senate of Pennsylvania takes great pride in recognizing those businesses which through adherence to the highest standards of service contribute in a meaningful way toward a better and more productive society. And whereas Community Bank is celebrating the momentous occasion of its 120th anniversary, and now therefore, the Senate of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Community Bank upon its richly deserved recognition and extends the warmest wishes for the future replete with ever-increasing success. Congratulations.
I have one this time, Eric. Community Bank, thank you guys for everything you do for our community. I walked into a location in front of us today that was opened 120 years ago and made my very first mortgage payment. And you got it. So if anybody, I got a collection up here. If anybody wants but you guys have committed so much, starting in Carmichael's and then expanding into Greene County, into West Virginia. You guys have just been growing and growing and growing. And I'm proud personally to support a small bank that is rooted right here in our community because of everything that you guys do. So please keep it up. Congratulations. We hope you're around for another 120.
I'm closer to the 120 than these guys. You've outlasted many competitors that continue to work together as a team to be a trustworthy financial institution. We congratulate you on 120 years of service and thank you for giving back to the area charities and nonprofits. We look forward to what will become as Community Bank offers the latest in financial services and technology. And thinking about early days in Carmichael when I was back in the wagon and down the but really, you guys are fantastic. You do a great job for our county and our community. Thank you.
All right, on behalf of the Greene County Chamber of Commerce, we would like to present this plaque to Community Bank for 120 years of service to the community. So in 2016, we presented the first Mccracken Legacy Award, and it was created to recognize businesses and organizations who make a commitment to their staff and their community. In the program that we had upstairs, it lists the very detailed description of what the criteria is, and I'm not going to read all of that, a lot of big words, but there's also a list of those organizations that came before the 2016 year mark. We started giving away an Organizational Distinguished Service Award, and that was discontinued in 2016, and then we kind of switched gears because that was aimed only at nonprofit organizations, and we wanted to start to include businesses in that. So for the past 3 years, it has been a for-profit organization that has received the award. This year, we're back to a nonprofit, and tonight we're going to add the name of the Waynesburg Vfw Post 4793, its auxiliary, and General Wayne Pup Tent number 33, also affectionately known as the Cooties, and their auxiliary to the list. And if there's anybody there's a lot of folks in here from the VFW tonight, so please walk up to them and ask them, what is the Cooties? Because I just learned this the other night, and it is hilarious, it is wonderful, and I had to pay $1 to Jared. There's Jared. I will tell you, I thought Jerry had a stink bug on his collar. And I went up to flick it off. Now mind you, they just told me, don't flick off the little, if you see the little pin, it looks like a bug. Because if you do, then you have to pay him. So I had to give him $1. Even though they just told me this last week. And I'm over there trying to knock this bug off, and it was the pin. He had it very strategically placed, so you think it's a bug, then you're going to help someone. So, but there's a lot more to the story than that. But when I met with these gentlemen the other night, and I'm very familiar with a lot of those wonderful folks through the auxiliary and the VFW, count a lot of them in my circle of friends. But when I met with them, I really got a lot of the nitty-gritty as to what they do. And while you're aware of things on the surface, there's so many things that happen under the surface that you're not aware of. So I said, what are you most proud of? And the first thing that came out was that they make a monthly trip to the VA nursing home down in Clarksburg, West Virginia. And they provide all manner of services to this organization and for those that are in it for care. They cook and prepare Thanksgiving and Easter dinner and take it down, serve it to the veterans who are housed in the facility. They organize bingo. They do cookouts. They take fruit baskets, and the list just goes on and on. And one of the things, though, that they're even most proud of within that particular aspect of their volunteer service is that they raised over $6,500 to purchase an ice cream machine for the facility, and they keep it fully stocked with supplies at all times. So those are things that most of us who know members of the VFW have no idea that this is the kind of stuff that is going on, just very quietly, unassumingly, down on Lincoln Street. They also began the Greene County Honor Guard, and they recruited other local veteran organizations to join them in providing military rights at funerals, private ceremonies, and memorial services. They raised the funds to purchase a van that carries them to and from these services and honors, and they go to everyone that they're requested to attend, and sometimes to locations in other states. So gentlemen, I do have a question. The van that some of you arrived in here today, is that the van? Okay, so when y'all leave, if you see that big van, they raised all the money to get that maintained, and they operate that. So that right there deserves a round of applause. So I literally took 4 pages of typed notes. They were talking and I was typing just as fast as I could to keep up. I mean, there is so much that I could stand up here and tell you, that, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. So I do want to just leave you though with one point that I want to drive home this evening, and that is the importance of what this organization does for our community. They are an outstanding post in the eyes of the Pennsylvania State Commander and regularly surpasses all of the goals set forth by the state. They're recognized as, and this is amazing to me, as 3rd in the nation for volunteer hours and funds donating to veterans. And it's just an amazing thing that they do. And they did tell me a little side note that the state commander will frequently use them to get on another VFW in another part of the state and say, they're in little old Greene County and look what they're doing, you can do it too. So they're really being held up as the mark of what service really means. So at this time, I'd like to have Dawn Martin come forward, and I want to ask all of the people that are here from the VFW tonight to please stand up for a round of applause. All right, we're going to get into our little parade again, so we're going to start off with Matt.
Matt with the long last name again. On behalf of the Congressman, I just wanted to present you with the Congressional Citation in honor of the service that you provide to our veterans, and will continue to do so, we have no doubt. In the Congress of the United States, U.S. House of Representatives, this certificate of special congressional recognition is presented to Waynesburg Vfw Post 4793, its auxiliary, and the Cooties, in honor of receiving the Mccracken Legacy Award from the Greene County Chamber of Commerce for the dedicated service to the community, October 28th, 2021.
So I'm going to tell a little funny story. Mr. Martin and I are neighbors for years and years and years, and in Prosperity. Well, he lives in Dunn Station, up the road in Dunn Station, and I grew up in Plumstock. So you can maybe throw a rock from one to the other, but it's been a pleasure of mine in my position of working in Senator Bartolotta's office to really get to work with Dawn a lot in the last 5 or 6 years, and he is a true gentleman and a great representation of this whole organization and everything that they do. So on a personal level, thank you, for all that you do. But I have a beautiful citation from the Senate of Pennsylvania, and I'm just going to read a couple sentences of it. Whereas the Waynesburg Veterans of Foreign Wars Post number 4793 auxiliary is being presented with the Mccracken Legacy Award by the Greene County Chamber of Commerce, and now therefore the Senate of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates the Waynesburg Veterans of Foreign Wars Post number 4793 and extends warmest wishes for a future replete with ever-increasing success. And here is a copy for your official files.
Waynesburg Vfw. Make some noise, Waynesburg Vfw. You guys, Commissioner talked about anchor businesses. You guys are the heart and soul of Waynesburg and Greene County. I really feel that. You guys are at every event. Anything we've ever done, honoring a veteran or honoring veterans, period, you guys have never said no to an honor guard, ever. You guys have showed up every time. Every Memorial Day, 9/11, Purple Heart Remembrance Day, you guys are there. And it's awesome. And right next to you, that auxiliary cooking some great food. I look out and I see so many friendly faces out there, and Dawn and Martin and Dave, Renee. Where's your other hat? You had another hat on, didn't you? Where's that cowboy hat? Yeah. We're going to see at the VFW later with that thing on. All right. But we're so proud of everything that you guys do. You guys mean a whole heck of a lot to this community, and I hope you guys know that. And that's why the Chamber picked you guys to honor the VFW as one of these absolutely tremendous organizations with this Mccracken Award. So here's a citation. I won't read it. Congratulations.
It gives me great pleasure to present the Mccracken Legacy Award to the Waynesburg Vfw. As an organization, you have proved to have a lasting commitment to the welfare and betterment of this community. Your demonstrated leadership and success with several events of our veterans in establishing the Greene County Honor Guard. We, the commissioners, are pleased to present your organization with this award in addition to the one presented by the Chamber of Commerce for your service to our community. And we truly thank you. You are there, you do show up, and again, they represent some staples in our community, our veterans. So let's thank them.
So before I make this final presentation, I wanted to ask the Mccracken family, who this award is named after, Jack, Jeff, Johnny, Alyssa, please stand up. The very first Mccracken Legacy Award Jeff has been involved with, and the very first DSA in 1986 was given to Jack, his dad. So, Jeff, if you would like to come up and get in this picture, you're more than welcome to. Waynesburg Vfw, on behalf of the Greene County Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to present you formally with this award and thank you for all that you do.
We just want to say, on behalf of VFW Post 4793 and its auxiliary, Military Order of the Cooties, Prop 1033 and its auxiliary, thank you for recognizing our efforts. No recognition means more than that for your own community. On behalf of all veterans, thank you for your support.
I know a big portion in the back of the room definitely knew this individual, but I think most of us here probably can say that they did. He was a member of the VFW, and he had a servant's heart when it came to veterans in our county and our country. He was a veteran himself, and he was the driving force behind bringing the Vietnam Veterans Traveling Memorial Wall to the fairgrounds, also the Korean War Memorial, and for those projects then sprung the new Veterans Memorial Park. So when I was speaking to a few people in preparation of my notes for tonight's presentation, someone said, and it was Commissioner Belding, that he was like a pit bull with a bone when he got an idea in his head, particularly an idea that would support and recognize veterans. You couldn't change his mind. So most of you probably know that I am talking about the late Rick Black. So in my daily activities, I encounter Rick a lot, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. His words to me a lot of times was, I need to talk to you. Well, I knew I was in trouble because Rick was going to rope me into something, but I welcomed it. I just absolutely adore him, and I'm honored to have been able to call him a friend. I got to know him very well over probably the last 10 years or so, and I do know that he would not want us to be sad in this moment. He always had a smile on his face. He liked to laugh. He was a little bit of a practical joker. So I'm going to share a story that I know made him smile a lot more than I liked, because he was making fun of me in the process. But I know that this will make you smile too, because this is just the kind of person that Rick was. So I'm going to out myself here just a little bit. But a few years back, maybe 3 years ago, you guys may remember we had this infestation of these big black spiders. They had a really big black body on them, and they were horrible. And I see Susan going, oh my gosh, she must have had an encounter with a few. Well, we had a couple come into our office, and those that know me know, give me one of these horses out here in the field and I'm fine. That little spider, no, I'm going the other way. Ask my husband, he'll tell you lots of stories. So anyway, Michelle knew that. Michelle worked with me at the time, and she was up front, and she moved something, and I'm all the way back the hall, and I hear this scream, and she's stomping and banging, and I'm yelling, I can't come help you, because, you know, I wasn't going to go rescue her because I was just as afraid of it myself. So that was the first one. Then the mayor had to come and rescue us one day. He just happened to walk into the office, and there was one, and we sent him to kill it. So one day I walk in there. It's early in the morning. There's no one else in the plaza. There's no cars out there. I'm in there early. I'm going to get a bunch of stuff done. And drug all this stuff in and out of the car. And I thought, I need to wash my hands. Well, my little office has a little powder room. So I step in there to wash my hands. Right on the sink, or in the middle of the drain, is one of these big black spiders. And of course, I run out in the hall, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Like, literally, there's nobody here to rescue me. My husband was at work. Like, there was nobody for me to call. And I'm thinking, I got stuff to do. What am I going to do? And I'm like, Rick. Because his buddies, they always would go to parties. So I call his phone, and I'm thinking, please be there, because if he wasn't, I was going home. That was just it, I was going home. So I told him what was wrong, and of course, he came over. And when he came through that door, the smile on his face with his chest all puffed out, because he was rescuing me. That's just how he was. And so he's laughing and shaking his head, and where is it at? And I'm, way back there, like I'm not even going close. And so he kills it, and I'm like, are you sure? Yes, it's dead, it's dead. I'm like, I didn't hear you flush the toilet. Is it dead? Yes, it's dead. So he talked to me for a couple minutes again, this massive grin on his face, and off he went. So this was at like 7:30 in the morning, like this was early. And when I left work, I think half of Waynesburg, if not all of Waynesburg, knew what had happened that morning. Because he had made sure to tell everyone. Doug, did he tell you to put it on the air? I'm surprised that he didn't, because I really expected that. But he teased me about it then ever since. But that's just the kind of person he was. It wasn't in a moment's hesitation that I was interrupting his breakfast. He was right over there and took care of it. So I always teased him that he rescued the damsel in distress. And I definitely was that morning. So many of us have those kind of stories to share about Rick. And he was one of those people that he wasn't the one running away from a problem, and this was just case in point. He was the one running towards the problem, especially if it was one that involved the veterans. And he would come in, and sometimes I would think, oh my goodness, this is a harebrained idea, Rick, how are we going to pull this off? Well, he did. He was able to really generate an interest and get everybody on his team. He was an amazing individual, and I've had this picture sitting in my home office most of the week. And I've really enjoyed it because I feel like he's been there watching. And I have a small copy of it that means something to me, and I will keep, that I was very blessed and truly honored to be able to call him a friend. So I'm really glad that we're recognizing him tonight. I really wish that we weren't. However, we are. He left us way too soon, but he left us with so many memories and such a legacy of the things that he did that would be built upon from this point forward. So there is a saying that says we are made better by the people that we encounter as they shape us into the people that we become. And I think he did that for many of us in the room, plus many that is just untold numbers. So to celebrate Rick's life and all that he did for others and all the wonderful memories that he left us with, and all the stories. And I know we have many, many stories that make us laugh. So that's how I want us all to remember Rick, was somebody that just a pit bull with a bone when he had a challenge in front of him. So I'm going to ask Jeff to come forward. So these are members of Rick's family. So we're going to start with
everyone. On behalf of the Congressman, once again, I do have a citation in honor of Mr. Rick Black. This certificate of special congressional recognition is presented posthumously to Mr. Rick Black in honor of receiving the Distinguished Service Award from the Greene County Chamber of Commerce for his contributions to the community. I did meet Rick about 3 years ago, I think, at the VFW for an event. I could tell he was a dedicated man who only wanted the best for our veterans, and the Congressman thanks him for that, and we should be honored as well. So, thank you very much.
Went down the hall in the county building, you knew you had a job to do, and there was a follow-up after that. He was usually on his way down to give the commissioners a hard time, and who knew it was going to be his son-in-law someday. So, but we loved having Rick, and he always had a kind word, but was always very intent on what he wanted to do, and he got it done. So that was always appreciative. We have a beautiful citation from the Pennsylvania Senate. The Senate of Pennsylvania takes great pleasure in recognizing those citizens who through dedication and excellence contribute in a meaningful way to the well-being of their communities and ultimately to all the people of this great Commonwealth. And whereas Rick Black is being honored posthumously upon receiving the Distinguished Service Award from the Greene County Chamber of Commerce, and now therefore the Senate of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania pays tribute to the late Rick Black upon his richly deserved recognition, affirmatively states that he is a shining example of community spirit whose many contributions are worthy of deep gratitude and respect. And here's an official copy.
It's hard to look back there and not see. It really is. Because he was the VFW, the VFW was him. He lived and breathed it. He lived and breathed trying to help our veterans and help this community. He was a damn good man. And it's really hard when I heard the news. I just couldn't believe it. Because I can still see him walking down the hall and Amy going, Rick Black's here, you want to talk to him? I'm like, yeah, Rick. Because he's hitting you up for money, one. That's always the first thing. And he's got 6 tickets he's selling, but we were happy to support because Rick was doing it for the right reasons. He always had in his heart that he was doing things for the right reasons. And it's just really hard to think that he's not here with all of you guys, because when we talk about the VFW showing up at all the events, he's one of the first ones there. Always. He was the first one carrying that flag, whether it be Jacktown Fair, whatever it may be. He was always the first one there, and we'll always remember him for that. And I'm just sad because many of us know Rick was kind of emotional. He'd cry sometimes. And I know if he was here right now and we were talking about all these good words about him, he'd be sitting there crying, so emotional and so happy that we were honoring him. So I hope you tell your mom that we love her too, and I'm sorry that she couldn't be here. You look just like her mom. But you give her a big old hug for us, okay? We love you guys.
I'm so glad to have called Rick a friend and a fellow veteran. We spent a lot of time together, probably one of the first folks I met when I came back in 2012 and moved back home. Welcomed into the VFW and all of those things. But a lot of these stories are true. When you saw Rick coming and he had a little devilish look on his face, you knew there was going to be a task in there for you. And I'm glad that I could call myself a soldier of Rick Black. He came up with the ideas. We often said he was the grand idea guy and everybody else worried about the details. But we need that, right? We need the visionaries. We need the people that are large in thought and where we moving. And those projects between the Vietnam Traveling Wall, the Korean monument that we brought in, and then the permanent recognition of the veterans is down at the memorial by the tennis courts now. We'll always pay a tribute to Rick's ideas and his vision. And really, I think there couldn't be a better testament for what he thought of veterans than a solid concrete and granite monument that'll be there forever. So you guys know how special he was. He's special to all of us. And it's a shame that he's not here, but we understand, the events that occur in life, and we're just glad to have spent time with him.
Jeff, can I say something real quick? When, just recently, they had the memorial down at the VFW, Stacy saw me sometime after that and said, no one mentioned anything about Rick and his running. So back in the day, Rick was really involved in the running community. And I'm gonna tell you what, those little short legs, we were training for a marathon. We were outside, up beyond Deer Lick, coming back, and I was way behind. And coming up, slow up, Rick. He said, get up here, get up here. But he was one of the best runners, believe it or not, in Greene County, and those little legs could move. And he helped me to run my best marathon ever. So Rick loved that sport and did it for a lot of years. So Stacy, you tell her I mentioned his running.
There may be lots more things that we all didn't realize about Rick. He was definitely a many-faceted individual. And as everybody said, you know, he would come with that devilish grin. And I knew I was in trouble. We were going to be doing something, but it was always something for the community and something wonderful. So this is a very special presentation for me to give to you, the family. I do wish Stacy could have been here, but on behalf of the Chamber, we would like to recognize Rick Black for his distinguished, dedicated, and outstanding service to the Waynesburg community and its citizens by the Greene County Area Chamber of Commerce.
Just real quick, Larry made it apparent that I must talk too much because you said, Jeff, can I say a few words? Is that from work or? I think Bell was running the show, not me this time. First of all, I'd like to thank the Chamber for recognizing Rick with this Distinguished Service Award. I'm honored to receive this award on behalf of his family, which includes his daughter, my wife Stacy, who wishes she could be here tonight. However, she has a work obligation this evening, so unable to attend. As you saw, his sister Judy Cook and her husband Joe Cook, his son Brett Staggers, his wife Chris, who were unable to be here tonight also, and then his grandchildren, Gabby Ian, and then Garrett Mann, who were unable to be here tonight also. Again, I think we can all admit if Rick was here, he wouldn't have wanted this. But it's nice to look back and see what he did do. Thank you.
So we'll move on to our next award, and this is the Distinguished Service Award. There has been 32 recipients prior to this evening. These are people that we have recognized for shaping our community. Our posthumous DSA award recipients also fall into that, as well as all the organizations. And again, there's a whole panel in the program that lists all these organizations. This county wouldn't be the place that it is without those individuals, organizations, and businesses being a part of our lives and the fabric that runs through the county. So our 2021 Distinguished Service Award recipient is George Blystone. So Bly, I'd like to have you come forward there. So Bly truly is the definition of the word service. His life has revolved around helping others to preserve the history and story of Greene County for many years. And again, he has many layers to his story. So we're going to uncover just a few of those pages, but there are many, many there. He has been a huge asset for about, well, I'm not exactly sure how many years, but a long, long time to the maintenance, restoration, and protection and education of others on the Y.A. Young Foundry and Machine Shop down in Rice's Landing. So every Sunday or thereabouts, you can find him down there giving tours, which I've been on, and if you haven't been there, you need to go. It is a fascinating place. Even if you have no interest in that particular genre of attraction, you need to go. It's a gem that we have here in this county that really there's not too many like it left in the country. But he's there, he will tell you all kinds of stories, and the things that you see are just amazing. He does demonstrations, he works with the Hammer-In event that comes to the Foundry. And it's his heart and his passion in the Foundry that helped the momentum moving forward to see that the site become added to the National Registry of Historic Places in 1992. The site is now owned by Rivers of Steel Heritage Corporation, and they promote the region's steelmaking history. And Bly is a caretaker of that gem that we have. And it's an incredible example of our county's role in that history, being the river and the trade that used to take place on the river, and what our little county had a role in making that happen. It went all up and down through several states. He's also been the caretaker of the Greene County Historical Society Museum property for 50 years, you told me? 50 years he has been working there. So he's synonymous, really, with that facility, and I know he knows every little nook and cranny in that place. But he has spent countless hours maintaining it, and all the treasures that can be found there. I see him frequently out working in the yard, on the mower. He's been involved with the 50s Fest in downtown Waynesburg for a number of years, since the beginning, right? With George Kelly and the Grumpy Old Men. So those of you that are car people will know when I say the Grumpy Old Men who those gentlemen are. And every year when you pull up, this is who you see. I drove my truck up there this year, and he was the first one to greet me and let me through to park. But that's not all. He is a champion of those fighting and recovering from addiction. His drive and desire to help others is channeled through his work with Steps Inside and the Greenbrier Treatment Center. So he has a humble personality. If you've ever met him, you will agree. He's very warm, he's open and friendly, and he has a desire to preserve our local history and help others through one of life's biggest challenges. And it's my honor to present our 2021 Distinguished Service Award winner, Bly Blystone.
Matt from the Congressman's office, on behalf of the Congressman, just wanted to present you with a certificate of special congressional recognition. This is presented to Mr. George Blystone in honor of receiving this year's Distinguished Service Award from the Greene County Chamber of Commerce for your contributions to our community. Thank you on behalf of the Congressman. Congratulations.
Hey, Bly, how's it going? All these people talking about you. They're all looking at you, talking about you, but they're saying good things so far. I don't know what I got on here, but my first experience with Bly, the senator wanted to do a tour of the W.A. Young Foundry, and so we went down and we were getting this great tour, and he and Gary decided to talk her into getting on the dumbwaiter and pulling herself up to the second floor instead of going up the steps. And I'm thinking, this is going to be on the front page of the paper. But it wasn't. These guys knew what they were talking about, and she got herself up to the second floor just fine. So we had a lot of fun that day, and Bly is such a dedicated member of the community for all of those things. But what's right here in this man's heart is the recovery community and his dedication to that. And we are all very much indebted to him for his service to the recovery community in Greene County. So we have a beautiful citation here that reads in part, whereas the Senate of Pennsylvania takes great pleasure in recognizing those citizens who through dedication and excellence contribute in a meaningful way to the well-being of their communities and ultimately to all the people of this great Commonwealth. And whereas Bly Blystone is being honored upon receiving the Distinguished Service Award from the Greene County Chamber of Commerce, now therefore the Senate of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Bly Blystone upon his richly deserved recognition, affirmatively states that he is a shining example of community spirit, whose many contributions are worthy of deep gratitude and much respect. Congratulations.
Who's this George guy? Blah. Oh man, look at that smile. That smile kill you, man. Look at that. Man, he warms the room everywhere he goes. He drives down the street, he beeped at me the other day. I'm like, blah, I'm screaming on the street. I'm like, how nice is this guy? He goes down, he beats like 6 more people. I'm like, I thought that was special, man. Come on. Everybody knows Bly. But I'll tell you, Bly, you've done a tremendous job for this community. I don't know if anybody's been down to the Foundry, but he continues to make it better. You and that whole crew down there, you guys have continued to restore it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. You guys have done a great job. All your volunteer work at the museum's gone over a huge transition. I know you were volunteering a lot for that as well. But I first met Bly before I ever knew what the opioid epidemic was. I never even heard that word. And you guys came into our office, sat down and said, we've got a problem, and we want to help. And ever since then, I've just loved this man, because he's got a good heart. He's in things for the right reason. Just like we talked about, Rick, Bly, you're the same way, man. You do things for the right reason. And you put a smile on my face every time I see you. And I know you do it to the whole same room, man. So congratulations, Representative Snyder. Bam, it's probably everything.
Bly, it gives me great pleasure to be honoring you here this evening for the Distinguished Individual Service Award. I feel very privileged. I known Bly for a long time as a young nurse starting out at the hospital. Of course, Bly working there, you could tell immediately the character. If you needed something, you could trust him. You know, I think Bly is one of the most caring individuals that we have in our community. And he does care very much. In fact, as a commissioner, I oversee human services. And so when I go to the drug and alcohol meetings, Bly is there. He's very faithful to come to the meetings, and his perspective is very much appreciated, and he always gives a different perspective, and it's very appreciated. And so, Bly, I want to read this to you. It is with great honor that you receive this award for a life dedicated to helping others and your commitment to our community and the history behind it. Thank you for being such a positive influence to the members of our community and all the countless hours spent on various committees. Your service to our community has not gone unnoticed, and on behalf of the Greene County Commissioners, we congratulate you. Much deserved.
So the key word here tonight has been service, and in listening to the presentations that we've had, it's very obvious that everyone that was recognized tonight, and that number is about 40 people when you take into account who is here tonight from VFW, but much larger when you look outside of those that aren't. And this guy right here is leading the charge. I have really enjoyed the tie-dyed shirt photo in my office this week. Bly always, and when I had to look through pictures of Bly, I chose that one because the smile that's on his face matches the brightness of that t-shirt, and that just matches what is in this man's heart. Every time I talk to Bly, he always has a little joke. He is just, and I've known Bly for a long, long time, and it's always a pleasure when I go down to the museum and I see him or any encounter that I have, because I know he has a heart of gold. So the only thing that's missing on this tie-dyed shirt is that great big heart. But I know it's in there, and we all do, Bly, so thank you so much. So on behalf of the Greene County Chamber of Commerce, I would like to present you with the 2021 Distinguished Service Award. And do you guys want to come up, family? Okay, we're going to reach everybody in the middle. Get in there.
Hi, I just want to spend a minute here. This picture of me with a tie-dyed shirt, this gentleman is in a halfway house that made this tie-dye shirt, and he's got 6 months sober. It's good to have him be able to make this. He's making more, he's trying to start his little business, you know, at the halfway house. So it's very cool just to have that little piece to whether the heart's in there or not. Well, I have 42 years sober. Which is longer than I can remember. And it's just been a pleasure being around Greene County and around people. If I'd still been in California, I'd been dead, I'm sure. And so, just lucky to have you folks to smile and wave and say howdy howdy. Take care.
People lie. And goes off to Renee.
You need me back?
We thought that you might like another little special picture. All right, we got just a few last little things to take care of. So I'm going to have Sandy Throckmorton come up. She is co-chair of the auction, and she's going to do some of the drawings here.
Thank you again for supporting our efforts to raise funds for the annual scholarship. And thank you to the many organizations and businesses and individuals who donated items. Barb Wise, Michelle and Terry King, First Federal Savings and Loans, Stacy Stroman, First National Bank of PA, Sheila Stewart, Sandy Throckmorton, Fashion Shop, Waynesburg University, Betsy Abraham McClure, Four Seasons, Lawn and Garden, Your Cookie Rookie, Washington Health Systems, Greene Community Bank. When you purchased your tickets at the front door this evening, we took your name with the number on it. And after the festivities are over this evening, you can match your ticket up to the number. Oh, I thought I was going to announce them. Oh, that's what I thought, yeah. So I know everybody's probably ready to get home. It's been a long evening. A pastel by local artist David Lisico, which was over here on display, was won by Verona Allman with a $65 And next we'll draw the winning ticket for the 50/50 raffle. Thank you again for your support of this raffle. It was worth $195 to the winner.
Oh, we got two.
Everybody got your tickets out? 082189. $195. Everything up. I did want to extend the offer to the VFW members that are here.
If you want to come up and we get a large photo with everybody that's in attendance, we can do that here after we dismiss everyone. So I just wanted to wrap up by saying thank you to everyone for spending the evening with us and recognizing some very deserving individuals, businesses, and organizations who help make Greene County a better place every day. Each one is so much more than what we were able to present here tonight, and there are many more chapters to their stories. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "This country will not be a good place for any of us to live unless we make it a good place for all of us to live in." And I think that that's what everyone that we recognized here tonight is doing, making Greene County. We're going to start it here and let it spread. So thank you all very much for coming. Please drive safe.
Wait. One person did not get thanked tonight, and it's Melanie. Melanie, thank you.